Right, this is a completely unscripted demonstration of some 8-inch disk drives, which I've been talking about on the Stardock forum. So first of all, let's just have a look at these 8-inch discs. They really are much bigger than you think. Obviously it's 8 inches across, so my hand won't quite cover it. In all intents and purposes, they just look like 5 1/4 inch floppy disks, but they're 8 inches across instead of 5 inches across. And to show you one of the drives, I have this TRS-80 Model II, and it has what's called a Shugart SA800 disk drive. It's a single-sided double density disk drive, and it can store half a megabyte, about 500k of stuff. And when you put a disk in there, you slot it in like that, and you have to click it home, and then the whole thing slides across, and then it's in. And when you eject it, it spits the thing out so you can pull it out. Anyway, this disk I'm going to copy stuff to for now. So this is my blank disk. It's probably got stuff on it actually, but I don't care. Now here, this disk here, this is the boot disk. Now the boot disk on this machine at the moment is one of the external drives. So if we quick look around this unit, this is the Megastor unit. Bit of a strange name, but sounds cool. And it just comprises of a power supply that provides power to the disk boards, the controller boards. There's a fan there, it's here. That's a mains powered fan, it's really quite noisy. And then you've got, on this at the moment, another Shugart drive. This is an SA850, which is double-sided. And then a Basf drive, which I've just restored. Now, what's interesting about the Basf drive is that it has this motor on the back. It's mains powered, and the whole outer case of the motor spins. So you've got to make sure your fingers don't get in the way. Whereas the Shugart has a more conventional motor, and this has got all of the spinning parts inside the case. There's no chance of losing a finger if this is running. Right, so I think we can power it up now. It's going to get a bit noisy. Most of the noise comes from the fan though. So here's my bodged up power switch, just temporary because I don't have the front panel on the unit, because the disk units have been they're under repair. So you can hear, right, that is the fan, that noise, and then the humming noise is just the discs. And if you look here, I don't know whether you can make that out, but that whole, there you go, that whole thing is spinning. And the way these discs operate is they don't have motor down, power down. I mean, they don't switch the motors off, they're always on all the time, which actually gives them quite fast access. And if you look inside, you can see that's the spindle, or rather the mechanism, the drive mechanism, and again it's always spinning. And if you look at the back, you can see the capstan. It's belt driven, and that belt is probably, I don't know, 35 years old, still going strong. The Shugart is very much the same. It's a belt driven capstan, and again you've got this motor, but this one isn't quite as dangerous as the one on the Basf drive. Alright, so next thing I need is a boot disc, so I'll go and fish out a boot disc for the Model II. Yeah, that's this one. There's a boot disc here. Now this Model II is equipped with the UIDE and the drivers, so we'll get a nice long list of disk drives that we can play with. The way the disc goes in, the label is facing towards the latch, and that's like the Shugart discs. You push it home and it clicks, and then you can pull the latch in like that. So that disc is installed. Now I've got another disc here which I'm going to put in this drive. So the way this machine is configured, this is drive A, that's the boot disc. This is drive B, and then the one up there is drive C. And the reason I have that is because the internal disc of this TRS-80 can be switched off. I can turn the motor off, and I can boot it up from an HXC, which means I get to use the thing without all the racket. Right, so a power application of power now, and the thing will boot up, and you'll see the drive activity light come on as you'd expect. So I'll just flick it on. It's not exactly noisy. So that's the boot prompt and the IDE driver, which I've talked about in other videos. This is actually the TRS-80 low-tech one, but it's just the driver I wrote for the low-tech IDE card. Right. So now what we want to do is we want to do a little bit of copying around so you can see these things in action. So what I'll do is I'll just let's just see what's on A. Okay, there's a load of stuff on A. Same with B. Now that clicks because that's the Shugart drive, and the Shugart drive has a big solenoid which is used to activate the head, and it clicks quite loudly. And again, C, which is this one, the one over there. If I just and you'll see it clicks, and then the light comes on. There's some stuff on there. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I will copy stuff from the A drive to the B drive. So I think what I want to do now is I just pop out this disc, because I don't want to lose that, whatever's on there. I'll pop out this disc. This is my empty disc, it should be. Put that in there. Noisy, isn't it? And then issue the command, which is going to be the pip B colon equals A colon star dot star, and we should see it doing its stuff. Right, so let's just copy file by file, hopefully. Looks like I might have a problem here. Let's reboot it again. Yeah, okay, so we'll try again. Let's just clear down drive B. Yes, we'll erase all. Okay, looks like I've got a problem with B.